Real imposters. And what is really annoying is that we shouldn't have to in any way admire what they're doing in Dusseldorf. You know, I had some admiration for Meghan. She succeeded quite well in her life and her ambitions. So I was able to balance it all. I mean, at the same time, he's married a woman who's very determined, very ambitious, who had a huge career in her terms in Hollywood.
Tom Bower just called Meghan Markle a 54-year-old granny, and she's absolutely losing her mind. The woman who spent years crafting this perfect image of glamorous duchess and humanitarian powerhouse has been completely blindsided by Britain's most fearless biographer. And this time, he didn't just come with insults, he came with receipts, explosive revelations about yacht parties, secret targeting of Prince William, and lies that could destroy everything she's built.
Tom Bower isn't some random internet gossip. He's an 85-year-old royal biographer who spent decades.
Meghan is reportedly threatening lawsuits. But here's the terrifying truth. Tom Bower has never lost a legal battle. And if she takes him to court, the secrets that come out could finish her completely. This is the moment that could change everything for the Sussexes. But before we dive into these devastating revelations that have Meghan reportedly furious and panicked, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell because the royal drama is about to get explosive and you won't want to miss a single shocking detail.
Something is seriously off about the way Meghan Markle and Prince Harry handled the births of their children. And now it's all...
Trust me, what Tom Bower uncovered will leave you speechless. Let's get into it. Tom Bower didn't just throw shade at Meghan Markle. He dropped a nuclear bomb that's threatening to obliterate her entire carefully constructed image. The man known as Britain's most ruthless biographer went straight for her biggest weakness, calling her a low-grade yacht girl. And suddenly everyone's talking about those whispered rumors that Meghan has spent years desperately trying to bury.
Let's talk about Meghan Markle for a second, because something weird's going on, and it's got a lot of people raising eyebrows, especially...
For those who don't know what that means, we're talking about women who socialize with wealthy, powerful men on luxury yachts. And it's not just for the champagne and sunset views. These allegations suggest Meghan was networking her way through elite circles long before she ever met Prince Harry, using charm and availability to climb the social ladder. And Bower didn't just make vague suggestions. He went full attack mode, claiming she worked these exclusive yacht parties to get access to the kind of wealth and influence that would eventually land her a prince.
It's one thing to fumble a product launch, happens to the best of them. But what Meghan Markle just did with her so-called...
But here's where it gets really ugly. The rumors don't just stop at random wealthy businessmen. We're talking connections to Jeffrey Epstein's circle, alleged yacht parties with Prince Andrew, and photographs that supposedly exist showing Meghan in situations that would absolutely destroy her humanitarian saint act. Author Kirby Summers has been digging into these connections for years, suggesting Meghan was introduced to Epstein's world through Soho House connections as early as 2001.
Meghan Markle has long been accused of carefully crafting her public image, but recent revelations have ignited fierce debates.
Think about how devastating this is. Meghan has built her entire brand on being this serious global leader, this dignified duchess who champions women's rights and social justice. She wants to be taken seriously as a political force, a cultural icon, someone who matters on the world stage. But once that yacht girl label sticks, she's not a serious figure anymore. She becomes someone who allegedly used her looks and charm to work her way into powerful circles.
Scandalous secrets revealed. A captivating expose on the Meghan Markle controversy. And
that completely destroys the foundation of everything she's tried to build. The internet has absolutely exploded with this revelation. Social media is brutal and they're not letting this slide. Memes everywhere showing Meghan photoshopped onto yachts, hashtags like Yacht Girl Meghan trending worldwide, and suddenly everyone's re-examining every photo of her on boats with a completely different perspective. But here's what makes this so much worse for Meghan. She can't just dismiss this like some random tabloid gossip, because Tom Bauer isn't some hack writer looking for clicks.
Today, there is some incredibly explosive claims to share regarding a new interview with royal author Tom Bauer, who is alleging he is
This man has spent decades taking down powerful people with documented evidence, and he's never been successfully sued. When he makes claims this explosive, it's because he's got the receipts to back them up. And the timing couldn't be more brutal. Just when Meghan was trying to rebuild her image in Hollywood, establish herself as a serious producer and content creator, these yacht girl allegations surface, and suddenly every executive, every potential business partner,
Harry and Meghan are divorced. Tom Bauer reveals Meg's cunning and manipulative behavior caused a divorce.
is looking at her differently. In an industry that's already found her difficult to work with, this kind of scandal makes her absolutely radioactive. But the Yacht Girl revelation was just the beginning of Tom Bauer's assault on Meghan's reputation. What he exposed next about her relationship with the royal family would leave even her supporters questioning everything they thought they knew about her love story with Harry. Just when you thought the Yacht Girl bombshell was devastating enough, Tom Bauer dropped an even more humiliating truth bomb.
Meghan Markle is no stranger to public scrutiny, but this time, the gloves are off. Acclaimed investigative author Tom
That's left Harry looking like the world's most pathetic consolation prize. According to Bauer's explosive research, Meghan didn't originally set her sights on Prince Harry at all. Her target was Prince William, the future king, and when that didn't work out, she simply pivoted to his younger brother like he was some kind of backup plan. Can you imagine the sting? For years, Meghan and Harry have been selling this epic fairy tale romance, this once-in-a-lifetime love story, where she supposedly had no idea about the royal family.
There's a feeling that they're finally getting a taste of their own medicine, which is poison. And so the mood really is at the moment, wait and see. But on the
And just happened to fall for this charming prince. But if Bauer's claims are true, Harry wasn't her dream man. He was literally her second choice, the spare she settled for when she couldn't land the heir. Think about how this completely demolishes their entire narrative. Every interview where they talked about their instant connection, every romantic story about their whirlwind courtship, every time Meghan played the role of the woman who saved Harry from his royal cage, it all becomes a lie if she was actually chasing his brother first.
When it comes to these royal tell-all books, it is helpful to know who is writing them. We didn't have time in my last video to go into...
And only turned to Harry when William wasn't available. And poor Harry. The man who's been mocked his entire life as the spare, the ginger stepchild, the one who would never be king. Now he has to face the possibility that even his own wife saw him as second best. The internet has been absolutely ruthless about this revelation. Viral memes showing Harry wearing a participation trophy, captions reading, "When you realize you weren't her first pick," and trending hashtags making him the punchline of every royal joke. But here's what makes this so much more than just embarrassing gossip.
A new bombshell royal book is coming out, and it is centered on Harry and Meghan versus...
If Meghan was strategically targeting the royal family, if she was studying them and calculating her approach, then every single thing about their relationship becomes suspect. Was her interest in Africa genuine, or did she research Harry's charitable work to seem like the perfect match? Were her humanitarian interests real or carefully crafted to appeal to a prince who wanted to honor his mother's legacy? The revelation paints Meghan not as this innocent American actress who stumbled into royal life.
of our privacy. He was born Prince Harry. His princely title is Meghan Markle, because this book is really Meghan.
But as a calculating social climber who studied the royal family like a chess game and made her moves accordingly. And if she lied about not knowing the royals, if she lied about not researching Harry, what else has she been lying about? But Bauer wasn't finished destroying Meghan's carefully constructed fairy tale. His next revelation would expose just how deep her deception really went. Remember Meghan sitting there with Oprah, wide-eyed and innocent, claiming she knew practically nothing about the royal family before meeting Harry?
Is feeling mortal. He would like some sort of settlement. I don't believe for a moment that William and Camilla...
Remember her saying she didn't even Google him, that she was this clueless American who just happened to fall into royal life? Well, Tom Bower just torched that entire narrative with evidence that Meghan didn't just research Harry. She studied him like a PhD dissertation. According to Bower's sources, Meghan went way beyond casual Googling. She dove deep into Harry's psychological profile, his emotional vulnerabilities, his desperate need for someone who understood his pain about losing Diana.
Tom Bower isn't some random internet gossip. He's an 85-year-old royal biographer who spent decades dismantling.
She researched his charitable interests, his work in Africa, his struggle with being the spare. This wasn't some romantic curiosity. This was strategic intelligence gathering. One of Bower's sources recalled Meghan excitedly whispering about how she'd Googled Harry and gone deeply into his life. The source was left with no doubt that Meghan had carefully researched every aspect of Harry's past, understanding exactly what kind of man she was dealing with. Needy, volatile, unhappy.
Once upon a time, Meghan Markle's story felt like something out of a Hollywood movie. A young woman from
and desperately seeking a soulmate who could heal his wounds. But here's the most damning part. Bower claims Meghan's dream of bagging a prince was literally written in one of her old blog posts. After Kate and William's wedding in 2011, she allegedly wrote about little girls dreaming of being princesses and all the pomp and circumstance surrounding royal weddings. This wasn't some accidental romance. This was a calculated campaign that had been years in the making. Think about how this completely rewrites their entire love story.
Hold on to your sun hats because this week, royal biographer Tom Bower dropped a public relations bomb.
Every time Meghan played the confused outsider who didn't understand royal protocol, every moment she seemed overwhelmed by the attention and scrutiny, every interview where she talked about being unprepared for royal life, it was all performance art if she'd actually been studying and preparing for exactly this scenario. And the Princess Diana research is particularly chilling. Bower suggests Meghan specifically studied Diana's compassion, her charitable work, her connection with the public.
What happens when a seasoned journalist faces off against one of the most controversial figures in modern royal history? Well, you're about...
And then crafted herself as the perfect modern version of Harry's beloved mother. She knew exactly which emotional buttons to push, exactly how to position herself as the woman who could continue Diana's legacy and heal Harry's deepest wounds. The revelation has completely changed how people view every aspect of their relationship. That first date where she supposedly knew nothing about him, she'd already mapped out his entire emotional landscape. Those early conversations about Africa and charity work. She'd researched his passions and tailored her responses accordingly.
A Hollywood insider has ignited a firestorm of controversy after making explosive allegations about Meghan Markle's role in...
Even her humanitarian work suddenly looks less like genuine activism and more like resume building for a very specific job application. But if you think that was the extent of Meghan's deception, wait until you hear about the impossible legal trap Tom Bower has set for her. Here's where Tom Bower's attack on Meghan becomes absolutely brilliant and terrifying for her. She's reportedly seething, threatening lawsuits, demanding her lawyers silence his claims immediately. But Bower has set the perfect trap, and every option Meghan has leads to disaster.
Well, I feel intensely sorry for him. I mean, he is a very decent man, hardworking. He was a wonderful father. Meghan owes him such a lot.
See, Meghan's go-to move has always been legal warfare. Someone says something she doesn't like, sue them. Tabloid publishes unflattering stories, drag them to court. She's launched 8 different lawsuits since 2019, using Britain's strict privacy laws to intimidate critics into silence. But Tom Bower isn't some random gossip blogger or desperate tabloid editor. This man is a investigative bulldog who's made a career out of taking down powerful people.
I'm told it's been a week from hell for the Sussexes in Montecito, and that what they really can't decide is what...
And he's never lost a legal battle. When Bauer makes claims this explosive, it's because he's got the documentation, the witnesses, the paper trail to back every single word. He's spent months, maybe years, collecting evidence. He's interviewed people who've never spoken publicly before. He's got sources inside Meghan's old social circles, former friends who've watched her climb the ladder, industry insiders who've seen her in action.
William didn't know that Harry and Meghan had already recorded their poison for...
So if Meghan tries to sue him, she's essentially volunteering to have all of his research dragged into open court. Imagine the headlines if those yacht party details became part of a public trial. Picture the media circus if witnesses testified about her strategic royal research under oath. Think about the documents that might surface, the photos that could be admitted as evidence, the testimony that could expose every carefully hidden secret. But here's the flip side of this nightmare scenario. If she stays silent, if she doesn't fight back,
Meghan's lifestyle brand and jam jars, crickets. Meanwhile, the upkeep of their Montecito mansion, PR.
The world assumes everything Bauer said is true. The yacht girl allegations stick. The William revelation becomes accepted fact. Her entire fairy tale narrative collapses without her even defending it. It's the ultimate catch-22. Fight back and risk total exposure of every secret she's tried to bury. Stay quiet and watch her carefully crafted image crumble in real time. Either way, Tom Bauer has already won because he's forced her into a position where she can't win.
The Sussexes had convinced themselves that their Australian success blessed them with Diana's magic, never having stood.
And Bauer knows it. He's reportedly told colleagues that Meghan won't want to appear in court being cross-examined by his legal team. He's essentially daring her to sue him, confident that his evidence will destroy her if she's stupid enough to take the bait. The legal trap is so perfect because it exploits Meghan's biggest weakness, her need to control the narrative. She spent years carefully managing her public image, strategic leaks to friendly journalists, calculated interviews, social media campaigns designed to shape public opinion.
She didn't want to have to walk behind Kate Middleton, you know, the future queen.
But now she's facing an opponent who doesn't care about her spin, doesn't need her cooperation, and has enough ammunition to blow up everything she's built. But while Meghan wrestles with this impossible decision, the damage is already spreading beyond her personal reputation. While Meghan was busy threatening lawsuits and having meltdowns behind closed doors, something even more devastating was happening in the industry she's been desperately trying to conquer. Hollywood, the very world she thought would embrace her as a cultural powerhouse.
Meghan Markle has not had a good week. It all started when earlier this week, Tom Bauer, who is a very famous,
started quietly backing away like she'd suddenly become radioactive. See, the entertainment industry runs on reputation, influence, and bankability. Producers, executives, and agents can tolerate difficult personalities if you bring in money and audiences. They can overlook scandals if you're profitable. But once you become associated with terms like yacht girl and calculated manipulator, you're no longer seen as a rising star. You're seen as a liability.
In the intricate tapestry of Meghan Markle's life, two threads stand out: her past romantic entanglements.
Behind closed doors, industry insiders were reportedly joking about the yacht allegations, sharing memes, and questioning every business decision involving Meghan. The woman who wanted to be Hollywood royalty was suddenly being treated like Hollywood poison. Executives who had been taking meetings with her and Harry started finding excuses to postpone or cancel. Projects that seemed promising began mysteriously stalling. And it's not just about the scandal itself, it's about what the scandal reveals about her character.
This commercial. came on with a tagline for this dishwashing liquid, and the tagline said, "Women all over America are fighting greasy pots and..."
Hollywood is full of people who've clawed their way to the top, but they respect smart strategy and authentic talent. What they don't respect is getting exposed as someone who allegedly used charm and availability to network her way into elite circles, especially when you've been positioning yourself as this principled humanitarian. The Yacht Girl allegations hit particularly hard because they contradicted everything Meghan had been trying to sell about herself. She wanted to be the next Oprah, the global influencer who could command respect.
In a twist that has social media buzzing, a rare vintage clip of Meghan Markle enjoying a sunny day on a yacht.
And serious money. But once people start whispering about your past involving wealthy men on luxury boats, you're not a serious cultural figure anymore. You're tabloid entertainment. Social media became absolutely brutal. The internet loves nothing more than watching someone who presents themselves as perfect get completely exposed. Hashtags like Yacht Girl Meghan and Granny Sussex started trending worldwide. Memes showed her face photoshopped onto various yachts.
Is when Meghan Markle goes to meet Harry's friends for the first time. And they're all his old mates from the royal days. They've all been.
TikTok creators made videos analyzing every photo of her on boats with completely new context. But the most damaging part wasn't even the original allegations. It was how quickly they spread and how eagerly people believed them. Years of Meghan being seen as calculating, demanding, and image-obsessed had created the perfect conditions for this kind of scandal to explode. People were ready to believe the worst about her because her public behavior had already made them suspicious. The transformation was complete.
Like, I curtsied as though I was like...
Instead of being Hollywood's newest power player, Meghan had become Hollywood's biggest punchline. Instead of commanding respect as a serious producer and content creator, she was being mocked as someone whose past was allegedly more colorful than anyone had imagined. And once you become a meme, once the internet decides you're a joke, it's almost impossible to recover. Your carefully crafted image doesn't matter anymore because the public has created their own version of your story. And their version is way more entertaining than your sanitized fairy tale.
Meghan Markle kicked off CNN this morning after a heated dispute with Anderson Cooper. Meghan Markle was
But the public humiliation was just getting started. What happened next was like watching a carefully constructed house of cards collapse in real time. Except the cards were Meghan's reputation, and the collapse was being broadcast to millions of people who were absolutely loving every second of it. The internet, once it gets its teeth into a story like this, doesn't let go. And the Meghan Yacht Girl revelation was like throwing raw meat to a pack of wolves. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, every platform exploded with content mocking her alleged past and her current desperation to control the narrative.
Meghan is being painted as the devil for months and months. First question, is there anything...
The memes were absolutely savage. Pictures of Harry wearing a crown with captions like, "When you realize you were the backup plan." Images of Meghan photoshopped onto various luxury yachts with headlines screaming about her alleged networking days. Videos analyzing every single photo of her on boats, looking for clues about her past that everyone had supposedly missed. But the most brutal part was how the internet connected all the dots. Years of Meghan appearing calculated, years of her seeming to study every camera angle and craft every public appearance.
No, I choose people who don't want to be written about on the whole, whose lives are shrouded in mystery, and they want to...
Suddenly made perfect sense if she'd been strategically planning her royal conquest for years. People started rewatching old interviews with completely different eyes, looking for signs of the manipulation that Tom Bower had exposed. The hashtags told the whole story. Yacht Girl Meghan, Granny Sussex, Second Choice Harry, they weren't just trending, they were dominating social media conversations. And once these labels stick, once you become associated, with these kinds of allegations, it's almost impossible to shake them.
Tom Bauer, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Sheila, thanks.
I noticed yesterday evening, Tom.
Even her supporters seemed stunned into silence. The Sussex squad, usually so quick to defend every criticism of Meghan, seemed genuinely rattled by the scope and specificity of Bauer's allegations. How do you defend someone against claims that specific, that detailed, that apparently well-researched? And poor Harry became collateral damage in the most humiliating way possible. The man who'd already spent his life being mocked as the spare, the ginger stepchild, the one who would never be king.
I will likely not be making any more videos about the book Revenge by Tom Bauer, which is coming out this week. I
now had to deal with being portrayed as his wife's second choice. The internet was ruthless, treating him like the consolation prize in his own marriage. The brazen, hussy comment that Tom Bauer had made months earlier suddenly took on new meaning. Instead of being offended by the term, some of Meghan's critics started adopting it ironically, turning it into a badge of honor for people who saw through her allegedly calculated image. But perhaps the most devastating aspect of this public humiliation,
public image. At the heart of this explosion is a chapter Meghan has spent years trying to erase. The whispers
was how it revealed the fragility of the entire Sussex brand. For years, they'd been selling themselves as this power couple, these global influencers who could command respect and serious money. But in the span of a few weeks, they'd been reduced to internet memes and punchlines. The fairy tale was over. The carefully crafted narrative of the American actress who accidentally became a princess had been replaced by something much uglier and much more believable. And once the public decides they prefer the ugly version of your story,
and it's not just some conspiracy theory. These are people with deep connections, documented timelines, and a history of
there's no going back to the fairy tale. But Tom Bauer wasn't finished. His next move would prove that this was just the opening salvo in a much larger war. Here's where Tom Bauer revealed just how dangerous he really is, and why Meghan should be absolutely terrified of what comes next. This wasn't just a one-time attack, some random hit piece designed to generate headlines and sell books. This was the opening move in what looks like a systematic campaign to completely dismantle everything Meghan has built.
CEO energy, but ended up looking more like a crash course in how not to do PR. And the funniest part? She thinks
Bauer has already announced he's working on another book about the Sussexes, promising even more explosive revelations that will make his yacht girl allegations look tame by comparison. He spent years building sources, cultivating relationships with people who've worked with Meghan, collecting documentation that could expose secrets she doesn't even know he knows about. And here's the terrifying part for Meghan. Bauer has a track record of getting more dangerous over time, not less. His first book about someone is usually just the appetizer.
Bauer's comments, delivered calmly but with authority, sent shockwaves across social media. Within minutes,
it's when he writes the second book, after his targets have revealed their weaknesses by how they responded to the first one, that he really goes for the throat. Think about the chess match happening here. Meghan's entire strategy has always been about controlling information, managing narratives, using legal threats to silence critics. But Bauer operates in a completely different league. He doesn't need her cooperation, doesn't care about her legal threats, and has enough evidence to keep the revelations coming for years.
Bauer, renowned for his incisive biographies and no-holds-barred approach, has delved deep into the inner workings of...
Meanwhile, there are rumors that Meghan is considering her own nuclear option, a tell-all memoir that would supposedly be her ultimate weapon against the royal family. According to sources, she's been quietly working on a book that would make Harry's spare look like a love letter, filled with explosive allegations about racism, cruelty, and corruption within the monarchy. But here's the problem with that strategy. It plays right into Bauer's hands. The more Meghan talks, the more ammunition she gives him.
explosive accusations at the Sussexes. According to his sources, Megxit was not a desire for financial freedom as portrayed publicly.
Every interview, every revelation, every strategic leak provides him with new material to investigate and potentially contradict. She's essentially volunteering to give her opponent more targets to aim at. The power dynamic is completely reversed from what Meghan is used to. Usually she's the one with the leverage, the one who can threaten legal action or strategic leaks to get what she wants. But against Tom Bauer, she's completely outgunned. He's got better sources, more experience, deeper documentation, and absolutely no fear of her legal threats.
To the author reveal that Meghan was left seething with fury upon learning about the book's harsh analysis, reportedly erupting in frustration over the damning
And Bauer knows it. He's reportedly told colleagues that he's just getting started, that the Yacht Girl revelations are nothing compared to what he's uncovered about Meghan's alleged behavior towards staff, her supposed demands and tantrums, and the real reasons why so many people who worked with her refuse to speak publicly about the experience. This isn't just about exposing past scandals. It's about systematically destroying the foundation of everything Meghan has tried to build.
None other than Tom Bauer, the man Britain calls the fearless biographer. He's built his entire career going after the biggest names in politics.
Her humanitarian image, her fairy tale love story, her victim narrative, her Hollywood ambitions. Bauer seems determined to tear down all of it with documented evidence and insider testimony. The ultimate power play isn't just about winning this particular battle. It's about establishing who really controls the narrative. And right now, Tom Bauer is holding all the cards while Meghan scrambles to figure out how to play a game where she doesn't make the rules. But the biggest question still remains.
Video to go into Tom, but this commenter is correct. He has never met Meghan. He has never spoken.
So here we are watching what might be the complete unraveling of everything Meghan Markle has spent years trying to build. Tom Bauer's devastating revelations have left her trapped in an impossible situation with no good options and nowhere to hide. Think about where she stands right now. The Yacht Girl allegations have destroyed her humanitarian saint image. The William revelation has humiliated Harry and exposed their love story as potentially calculated strategy. Her claims about not knowing the royal family have been thoroughly debunked.
Really a stunt. It's a pathetic stunt. You've got to look at the way that Harry has actually been badly...
Hollywood is quietly backing away from her. The internet has turned her into a meme. And the man responsible for all of this damage is just getting started. She can sue Tom Bauer and risk having every secret she's tried to bury dragged into open court, where his documented evidence could finish her completely. Or she can stay silent and watch as his allegations become accepted truth, letting her carefully crafted fairy tale collapse without even fighting for it. But here's what makes this moment so crucial.
This isn't about shaming someone for how they came up or trying to undermine a woman's ambition. It's about contradictions.
This isn't just about Meghan's reputation anymore. This is about whether the Sussex brand can survive having its foundation completely exposed as allegedly built on lies and manipulation. Harry, who's already been struggling with his identity and purpose, now has to deal with being portrayed as his wife's second choice and backup plan. The fairy tale is over. The question now is whether Meghan has any moves left to play or if Tom Bauer has successfully engineered the complete destruction
whispered for months. Investors are rejecting Meghan not because of bad luck, not because of
everything she's worked to achieve. Because one thing is absolutely certain: the world is watching, the internet is waiting, and this story is far from over. The truth is, we're witnessing something we've never seen before. Meghan Markle completely cornered by someone she can't intimidate, can't outmaneuver, and can't silence. Tom Bauer has done what years of tabloid criticism couldn't do. He's systematically dismantled her entire public persona with the kind of documented evidence that's impossible to dismiss.
Already palpable before the first question was even asked. This wasn't going to be your typical softball celebrity interview.
And the clock is ticking. Every day Meghan stays silent, these allegations solidify in the public mind. Every day she delays taking action, more people accept Tom Bower's version of her story as the truth. But every legal move she considers risks opening floodgates that could drown everything she's built. This is the moment that could define not just Meghan's future, but the entire Sussex legacy. Will they survive having their foundation exposed as allegedly built on calculated deception?
In a private conversation, Cruz is said to have claimed that Markle has used her connections and celebrity status to secure roles for herself.
Or are we watching the beginning of the end for Hollywood's most controversial royal couple? One thing's for certain, Tom Bower isn't backing down, Meghan's running out of options, and the world is absolutely fascinated watching this chess match play out in real time. Because when you've spent years controlling every narrative, manipulating every story, the moment someone else takes control of your image is the moment everything can fall apart. And right now it looks like everything is falling apart. If this video opened your eyes to just how deep this royal scandal really goes, smash that like button and let me know in the comments what you think Meghan's next desperate move will be. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because this story is exploding by the day. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single shocking development in what might be the complete downfall of Meghan Markle's carefully constructed empire.